And kicking off the in-depth look into the papers with the Telegraph, Paul.
Setting expectations high there with the word in-depth. On the front of the page is obviously Nigel Farage.
Right, yeah.
Nigel, huge congratulations to Nigel for coming third in the jungle. Obviously colleague and future Prime Minister. He's done really well, actually, isn't he? Considering that he's gone in there and he's this bogey man that everyone hates, and he's been the guy who's led everything bad that's ever happened in the UK. But he turns out that he's actually quite a nice guy who's a loving family man, charismatic, interesting, and likes to sing karaoke. Yeah, and lots of stories as well. And it's interesting, Carey, to see this painted. Some, Guardian journalists and all the rest of it have come out and said, "Oh, look, he's failed. He's failed another election attempt." It's like he came third. I can't wait to see their Paralympics coverage, sneering at whoever's third on that podium.
We forever find out the public don't think what they think. We're always told, they're endlessly on every single subject, the public definitely think this, and then they completely vote the other way. By the way, it's not me. This chair is really squeaky. Right. It will add to, when the story's getting very serious, it's going to get
save it up for a hip replacement.
I thought we were going to cover this headline about you may not be a Swiftie, but you should be glad your daughter is, because I haven't got a daughter and I'm not a Swiftie either. But
I thought a Swiftie was
more to say about that than
I thought it was a quick point.
I
Celebrity.
thought a Swiftie was when you went to sneak a fart out and it goes wrong. But I mean the Farage, I mean, QC him returning. Do you think it's going to have sort of introduced them to the public in a way they won't have seen before? Because there has just been a lot of Farage bashing.
I haven't seen any of it, but he does keep surprising the public every single time, and he's not going to just suddenly vanish, is he? So
no, I think this is just the beginning. I think it's genuinely just the beginning, and I was very sceptical whether this was a good idea for him, but who am I? Because it's turned out, I think, to be something that's a bit of a boon for Farage and his camp. I don't think it sort of jet propels him into frontline politics immediately. But one thing it will do straight away is boost Reform, who sit at 11% ahead of the Lib Dems. Yeah. We could see Reform on 12% this week, which would be huge.
Which would probably put them ahead of the Tories at the moment.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I had a discussion this week with somebody who was in politics, and they were saying he's only borrowing from the Tory party. The Reform are only borrowing from the Tory party, that 11%. But of course, it doesn't matter who they're borrowing from. Like in a sports game, it doesn't matter who you beat. If you're ahead of the Lib Dems, you're ahead of the Lib Dems, and that's huge politically. I mean, I don't know how it's going to play out, but Farage coming third in the jungle, getting so much exposure and being seen as somebody that people can relate to. I mean, because that's a huge thing in politics now. Somebody we can all relate to. Even people who hated Brexit would have watched I'm a Celebrity and thought, I recognise someone I admire. In Nigel Farage, and they won't openly admit it, but they would have done.
I think it's where we're going. I think it's going to be reality TV will be the way we choose prime ministers. We'll have them in the House of Commons. We'll vote them out one at a time.
It sounds like a much better system than whatever we've got at the moment, because the last few prime ministers just haven't been that great. And also the selection process has been long-winded and nowhere near as entertaining.
Well, the last few prime ministers have basically chosen themselves. That's been half the problem. The last prime minister we all voted for was Boris Johnson, collectively as a nation. And since then, we've had two others who have just said, I should do this. And then depending on who they're friends with, they've enabled it. So let's see what happens. I mean, let's see what happens this week.
Let's see what happens.